You now tuned in to the Gumptown Podcast. I'm your boy Doug B. We ain't got nothing to talk about, but we got something to talk about. Let's go. Good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 21. I'm your boy Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving this podcast a shot. Today's guest, I met this gentleman back at the Alabama State University in fall 2008, and shortly thereafter we became frat brothers. He went on to graduate from the Alabama State University with a degree in business management, straight out of that COBA. If you know, you know. I'm excited for this conversation. He is the founder and owner of the Credit Elect LLC, and I'm pretty sure you all will be inspired by his story. Let's give a warm Gumptown round of applause for Will Frazier. Frazier, bro, how's it going?
Man, it's going good. It's going good. How's things going for you, brother?
All is well, man. First things first, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me for a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, man. It's nothing. Anything I can do to help a brother out, and I appreciate the invite, too.
Yes, sir. For the people who don't know who Will Frazier is, tell them your story, where you from and how you got to where you are now.
Okay, so pretty much I'm from New Orleans, born and raised. Sometime after Katrina, not right after it happened, but a little time after, I ended up going to Alabama State, the Alabama State, I should say. And that's also where I met you, of course. And in my time there, I pretty much went there for business management because I always wanted to be a business owner. I never really knew what it was I wanted to do or what kind of business I wanted to open, but I knew I wanted to be a business owner. A little short story about that. Basically, I started off in school in New Orleans trying to be a mechanic at first, but right as soon as I graduated and I was in school for like 3 days, Katrina happened and flooded out the city. And then I tried to be a mechanic in a different place where we relocated to. And then the second hurricane, Rita, came and flooded that city after I was in school for like 3 days that semester. So I kind of figured it wasn't for me to be a mechanic. So by the time the next semester came, I ended up figuring out that, I should try something different. And, like I said, time passed. I ended up out at Alabama State, and that's where I ended up actually starting business management for my degree focus. And then in about 2011, I got my degree there. And from that point on, I was pretty much working in sales at Best Buy and whatnot. And then I went on to Wells Fargo. Then that's where I ended up getting the actual idea for my business, and where I started that at. Did you want me to go into that part too, or?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, first things first, I just wanted to hear your story, and we'll transition into the business and the different aspects of that. But now let's so is that pretty much your story, like where you're from and how you ended up where you are now?
Oh, well, yeah, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell, I would say. I grew up in just to add some more to it, I grew up in a middle income home. It was me, my brother, older brother, mom, grandma. That's pretty much how I was raised. And, during those times, money and stuff may have been tight, and it wasn't a whole lot of, financial education in the home, which I can say kind of led me to the things that I do now and how I try to help people now. But, I would say that that's pretty much the gist of my background. Definitely a Saints fan, for anybody that's wondering, and an LSU fan, even though I was in a heavy Bama in Auburn State. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
What a great story. Like, you're talking about overcoming adversity. You had a vision for yourself. You wanted to be an entrepreneur. You tried the mechanic thing. 2 hurricanes came in, and you still kept that vision. So that's really what I got out of your whole story. Like, you've just overcome adversity. And that's, a lot of people say, oh, I've been through it, I've overcome, but you've really been through it, man. Because I remember the effect of Katrina. I was in my senior year of high school, and I just remember watching it on TV, and it's like, wow, like, man, that city was underwater, and you was actually there in the thick of it, going through it. And I know it wasn't necessarily, I know it wasn't, a easy or a happy time in your life, but you kept your eyes on the prize. You had a vision for yourself, and you ended up getting out of that situation and coming on to Montgomery. So now that's a great story, and it just speaks to your perseverance, man. You just never gave up. Hats off
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. That's one thing, that I learned growing up. It's always going to be something to overcome, no matter what stage you're at in life. And, it's kind of, uh, it can be a little bit more challenging when you're younger and you don't really, have maybe the guidance there or have somebody to kind of tell you how to get through it. But, you can always find a source somewhere where there be, on YouTube or just some type of inspiration to try to help get you through those kind of times. For anybody that might be going through those, it's really a change in mindset that can help you to overcome those things and get to the better side of whatever challenges you may be facing.
Yes, sir. No doubt. Powerful stuff, man. Powerful stuff. Let's talk about the Credit Elect. What products and service? Well, first things about Credit Elect. When was the company founded, and what products and services do you offer?
Okay, so it was founded in 2014. Uh, that was, as mentioned, when I was working at Wells Fargo. I ended up starting the business part-time while I was there. And it was basically because I was having another challenge in that area myself with my personal credit while I was working there. And I would see a lot of people come in and not have the same issues that I had and not be able to get approved for things. So that's what sparked me to figure out how to solve my own problem and then help some of those that would come to me. And once I saw that it worked for not only me but other people, I was like, okay, this must be the business that I need to start. And that's when I started it. But what we offer is basically, at the most simple part of what we do is credit repair services. So it's a legitimate services where we help people with the improvement of their credit in ways that most people probably think was unattainable. So everything that we do is by the book and, to help people to achieve their financial goals. I also have some do-it-yourself products for those that may be trying to work on their credit themselves, but they may be struggling to do so, struggling to see results, or they really just don't know what to do at all. So I put those things together for people that want to try to do it themselves, but need some direction. Or if I can't help you in the state that you live in, because it's kind of based on the state, what group of people you can help you, because you can only help residents of states that you meet the requirements for that state to do credit repair in. So if I can't help them, I have courses and tools and resources like dispute letters and stuff like that to help them along their journey to get to their goal.
Nice, nice. So you're in the business of helping people improve their credit score and things of that nature. And I wanted to ask you about that. So what are three benefits of having good credit? And I'm asking from the standpoint of if anybody's listening and they're like curious as to credit repair and why is it important? Yeah, what are three benefits to having good credit?
Okay, so three benefits to having good credit. One major thing I can say is your potential to do a lot of great things can be unlocked. There are, the simple things. And as a matter of fact, I'll say the simple things first. If you want to be able to get a home and not be stuck, renting, and which is basically putting your money towards, something that you're not going to own. And usually that's thousands of dollars, every year that you're putting out to something that you won't own. And you can change that just by changing your credit. A lot of times people might be wanting to get a better job also where they can earn more money, bring more money into their household. A lot of the higher paying jobs or a lot of the better jobs, they check your credit too. So your credit can limit how much money you're able to bring in your house and not necessarily just what you're able to get. So that's, of course, very important when you're trying to, get to the next level in life. And that is kind of dependent upon your income that you can bring in. A third thing that I'll say is that basically it determines how much money comes out of your pocket and comes out of your household. Because anybody that's tried to go to the car dealership with, less than perfect credit, you've heard 21% interest rate, 25%, 18% interest rate, which can translate into, hundreds of dollars coming out of your pocket every month. The same thing being said, you can have higher insurance on that car because your credit isn't, in a good place. So that's also money coming out of your pocket. And then you might have to have a lot higher down payment to walk off the lot with that car too. So it's a whole bunch of different ways that it takes money out of your pocket, more money than you probably realize is coming out of your pocket. And as a bonus thing, I know you asked for three, but as a bonus,
go for it.
yeah, as a bonus, it's also tied to your ability to be able to make wealth, which is what I would, tell everybody they should be focused on, because it's not just about how much money you bring in. This is just a financial thing, not necessarily credit, but it's not just about how much money you bring in, and it's about how much money you keep, how much money you invest, and you being able to always invest in opportunities when they arise. Most people don't have money saved up, because if you look at statistics, most people don't have at least $1,000 saved in their emergency fund, or even $600, let alone 1,000. So if you have an opportunity that comes up where you may see like a rental property that is in a good neighborhood, you want to buy it, you don't have the cash on hand, but if you had the credit, you would be able to take advantage of that. And it's different avenues like that your credit can open up for you for wealth building activities that most people don't have access to because they don't have the credit.
And good people, you just heard a whole lesson on financial literacy. That was some powerful stuff. And to be honest with you, I wanted you to break it down exactly how you just broke it down. And having good credit, it essentially puts you in a situation to take your life to the next level. And especially in our culture, I mean, in Black culture, let's keep it 100. Like, financial literacy isn't something that's taught, like you said earlier, from your upbringing. Like, we're low on funds, and it's not necessarily because we don't. Well, our elders were low on funds, and this wasn't because they didn't know how to make money. They just didn't know what to do with it. So I tip my hat off to you for having the courage to step into this financial literacy lane, because, man, I mean, Black people, we definitely have to get more financial literate.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay, cool, man. So whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to cover three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. And it sounds like you had your aha moment while working at Wells Fargo, looking at your own credit that needed repair. And how long after that aha moment did it take you to actually start the business?
Well, it took me a good little bit of time because as I mentioned, I was working at Wells Fargo and I was seeing other people to come in the door, and it hadn't really dawned on me at that point in time. Actually, I had gotten to the point where I knew I was ready to leave Wells Fargo. And I was trying to see about another job opportunity at different places. So I had applied at different jobs that I actually knew I qualified for. And I actually got turned down for, like, I think maybe 3 different jobs, even with people coming to me and, telling me I should apply for certain things. And it didn't really make sense to me. But, God always has a plan that we don't always know at the time. And then it makes sense later. So, like I said, I tried to find opportunities to go to a different job. All those doors got closed. So then I was forced to sit there. And while I was sitting there at Wells Fargo, like I said, I started to realize the issue that those people were having. And then, I already mentioned what road I went down from there. But it really took me, I would say, maybe a year after I had that aha moment that I need to go ahead and leave, because it wasn't just about, okay, I have this business idea, I see that it works. You know, everybody for the most part has been working almost all their lives, once they were able to work. So leaving quote unquote stable job or secure job to go towards entrepreneurship isn't something that most people are easily gonna run to go do. So it took me some time to build up the confidence to be able to do that. And it actually took, a few more of me hearing some messages from God that, okay, you need to walk out on faith and I got you. And, like I said, after about a year's time, I would say that's when I actually was like, okay, I'm about to go. And also some more things happened on the job that got on my nerves. That was like, okay, yep, it's definitely time to get up out of here. And then I went ahead and stepped out the door and walked out on faith.
That's great. And a year isn't a long period of time because look how fast a year fly by. So it took you a year from the time you had the idea to actually put it into action. And that's so powerful because a lot of times people get stuck at the idea and they never actually take action and start the business. You were in a situation where you were fed up with the job and doors kept getting slammed in your face. But to your point, man, God's plan is, man, it's 10 times what we can imagine. And a lot of times we get discouraged. We think, man, I'm trying to get to this level and I want to, like you wanted that job, but those jobs and just didn't work out. And God's plan came through and it ended up, sounds like to me, ended up paying off. It ended up being a bigger benefit than the plan you had for yourself, providing bigger benefits than the plan that you had for yourself. My bad.
Man, most definitely. It was definitely a major benefit. Well, like you said, 2 to 10 times more of a benefit. Once I finally decide to follow, what God was telling me to do, and walk out on faith and pursue the entrepreneurship goal, because that first year in my business, while I was doing it part-time as like a side hustle, I believe I made about $4,000 that year from the business and, just from the business side activities. But then when I finally left the job, not only did I not have to deal with the headaches that I was dealing with at the job, and that whole working for yourself thing, not having to answer to anybody and setting your own schedule, which the first 3 days of me not being at a job, I was really just playing Madden all day because I was like, I got this freedom now. But then after that, I was like, okay, let me get to work. And then that next year, I made more in that year that I was full-time in my business, about double what I made at Wells Fargo. I made that my second year when I actually did it full-time. So that's that was definitely a blessing, just by following God's instruction and going in the direction that he called me to go in.
That is amazing. You stepped out there, you had no fear, you followed God's plan and doubled your income while working for yourself. And that's some good stuff. So that leads right into my last part of this 3-part question, the audacity. It takes courage and audacity to step out there to start your own business. You've already answered that somewhat. God gave you the audacity and the courage to step out there. Were there any other mentors in your life that gave you that courage to step out there as well?
Well, I can't say that I directly had a mentor at that time. I was able to see the value of mentorship a little bit later on down the line, and being in entrepreneurship and the benefit that offers. And that's why I also, I offer coaching to people trying to start a business as well in the same position, from what I did. But I had my mentors were pretty much on YouTube, basically. I would, in the morning, listen to different speeches and whatnot from different people who are in entrepreneurship, people like E.T., Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, Les Miles, their motivational speeches and stuff that they would have, and it would kind of help me to shift my mindset more towards kind of what I was experiencing, because they all kind of had similar experiences when they were trying to do what they were called to do. So that's pretty much in the beginning what mentors I kind of had. And I can say that I had a few positive people that I would see around school at the time that kind of help steer my mindset and shift me over to a better mindset of thinking. So I can say that I had probably a few different people, but I got a lot of information just from YouTube for free without having a mentor directly there for me.
Hey, that's great. YouTube University. I'm an alumni as well, man. Like that's the best university on earth.
Right, man. You could go find anything you need right there.
Yes, sir. Nah, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So describe that feeling of entrepreneurship. Describe that feeling, that freedom. You no longer have to deal with the office politics and things of that nature. What is that like on a day-to-day basis?
Oh yeah. So when it comes to that, it's it's kind of gonna depend. I would say for most people on the kind of person you are. A person that's more extroverted, you might want to be around, more people versus a person that's introverted. You're probably, more so okay with it being, just you and not having to deal with the office politics and stuff like that. So I'm an introvert. So I was cool with that with that part of it. But I still did miss the friends that I had where I worked at. But I still, had friends all around me. Yeah, but still it's a very it's a high feeling, I guess I could say, because you feel all of the power and control that you have over your destiny going forward and over your success going forward. It's not really dependent upon things like, for instance, before I left Wells Fargo, I was trying to also see about getting a promotion at one point in time when I was thinking, okay, I guess I might end up being here for a while. And you have to negotiate, how much money you want to make and how much money they're willing to give you. You have to hope that they feel that you have performed good enough to promote you to the next level. So it's kind of like you have to hope you can get what you want to get versus entrepreneurship, where you want to make 100,000 a year, you want to make $1 million in a year. You're in control of that. You can make that most definitely, but it also comes with a feeling of, great responsibility at the same time, and a little bit of weight, a little bit of pressure, because it's like, okay, I know I can achieve this, but I still have to go out and get it. So if I don't do it, it's not going to just happen for me. So that you have a bunch of things that you have to do in order to reach those goals. And it's all about, how dedicated you are to putting in the work and finding the information that you need in order to do that. Because most people are just, one podcast, one video, one course away from turning the corner and making more money than they've made before, hitting a new level of success that they've never hit before. You just got to find the information and then implement it. And, just to answer your question again, in summary, it's a high feeling. It's a very good feeling, but it's also, a feeling of challenge that you have there and responsibility to achieve what you want to achieve.
Powerful, powerful. And you know what? That's exactly how I, wanted you to break that question down. I appreciate you breaking that question down like that because, I currently still work a 9 to 5, but I definitely look forward to that feeling that you're talking about soon, man. Like talking about having control. Yeah, you have that pressure because it's all on you, but you have all the power because it's all on you. You get to promote yourself. And you said a very key word while you was explaining your answer. The money that they're willing, that they feel like you deserve. Like
Right.
that's hilarious, man. When you think about it, like somebody's telling me what they think I deserve.
Right. Right.
Nah, that's great, man. That's great. Let's talk about vision. What's the long term vision for the Credit Elect? I know you all have grown in these past 7, almost 8 years that you've been in business. So, what's the long term vision? What's coming down the pipeline?
Well, the long-term vision is really to just cover more states, because as I mentioned, there are, different requirements in each state to operate. So just growing into more states. Right now, I cover about 17 different states, which is a blessing, but still being able to help more people, because I always have people to reach out in different states, that I actually can't help. Like I had like 2 people yesterday from Indiana. I couldn't help them because I'm not meeting the requirements for that state yet. So that's another state that I'm going to look to expand into. So just being able to cover more states where I can help more people, and grow the team, get some more employees that I can teach the same information that I have, so that they can be able to implement it, and work for me, and just kind of be able to nurture and build up them as well. Because of course, when you have a employee, you want them to not feel like you probably felt at your job. You want them to have a better experience than what you had when you were working. And I want to be able to develop other people into leaders, whether that be through my business or through teaching them how to start their own business as well. So those are the things that I'm doing. And also I have a YouTube channel which has been growing very, very well over the past year that I've been putting time into it. And I want to get that right now, short-term goal, trying to get that to 100,000 followers. I'm at about 30,000 right now. So if you're listening, if you go and subscribe to the channel, that'll help my growth in that area too. So y'all can help me there. But those are the things that I'm looking at as far as business-wise. And a lot of those things will help me to be able to spend more time with my family, which isn't a business goal, but my family's growing too, and I want to be able to get some time in with the kiddos while they're growing up, and of course, spend time with my wife too.
Yes, sir. Hey, what a great vision, man. That's an awesome vision. I don't have anything further to say about that. That vision is dope, and I know you're gonna make it happen.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So as we wrap up, man, I want to talk about the Gump. I started this podcast because I wanted to shed light on people who are from Montgomery or who've come through Montgomery, whether it be through school or what have you. I just wanted to highlight and showcase the greatness coming through Montgomery or from Montgomery. So explain what impact has the Gump had on your overall evolution as an entrepreneur, husband, father, and a man?
Well, I can say it had a very heavy impact on my life. Growing up where I grew up in New Orleans, I know most people have their own, vision or how they see New Orleans or what they know New Orleans for. But, at some points it can make you a little bit rough around the edges. So, growing up in that environment that I grew up in, it kind of had me in a completely different mindset than what I'm in now. And a lot of that growth came while I was in Montgomery at college at the Alabama State University. All of the great people I was around, like yourself. And as you mentioned, a lot of people that are doing great things come through the Gump, and I don't think a lot of people know about it. It might be a famous person out there that somebody knows about, and they don't even know that they came through Montgomery. But it's a lot of talent there. It's a lot of great people there. And like I said, while I was there, it helped to mold my mindset, being an introvert that I am. It helped me to get out of my shell, just being there, being around the people, participating in the different events, business activities, networking with different people. It just really helped change my mindset to get me to a more success mindset versus the tunnel vision that I had to the limits that I was thinking would probably be on my life when I was coming out of New Orleans. And like I said, now, after going through Montgomery and meeting the people and going through all the experiences I went through, I know that I can achieve great success. And, me doing what I do now is a part of what I got from, coming through the Gump and all the people that were there with me, growing and experiencing life there too.
Yes, sir. Dope. So how can the people connect with you, Frazier? What are your social media handles? Facebook, IG, and as well as your YouTube channel?
Okay, yeah. So on YouTube is going to be The Credit Elect. You can find my channel under that. On Facebook, you can find me just Will Frazier MBA, or also you can find my business page at The Credit Elect. And I don't have an Instagram right now. Instagram actually, what is it called? They disabled my account. I don't know what happened with that,
Wow.
but it was I connected TikTok to it, and I guess they don't like TikTok too much. But after I did that, somehow that happened. So not on Instagram anymore, but Facebook and YouTube are going to be the major places where you can find me. And on my YouTube channel, you can get a lot of free information from me to help get you on the right track with your credit, with your finances, or if you're trying to even start a business. I have a lot of information on the channel for free. So definitely go ahead and check that out.
Yes, sir. And of course, I'll put all of this information in the description of the episode. Hey, Frazier, thanks again for taking time out of your schedule, man. This was a great conversation, and I really appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, and I appreciate you. And I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing, man. This is a great thing that you're doing with the channel and highlighting the successes from the Gump, and just the people that are from there and have come through there. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I love it. It's great, and hopefully you'll have me on again sometime.
Yes, sir. Appreciate those words, bro.
All right, man. Much success to you.
Yes, sir. Good people. That concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. We gone, but before we leave, remember, be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Gone. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your attention. Until next time.